This story really freaked me out, and I figured I'd share it with you. It's titled Unexplained Knocking from a Locked Morgue. Okay, so this just happened to me a few hours ago in the middle of the day, and I'm really freaked out. I work in a retirement home, and my job often requires me to go into the basement with a cart full of dirty laundry. That means I have to use the elevator. I've done this 1,000 times already, and never ever did I hear or see anything unusual. Now, since I work in a retirement home, amongst a lot of other rooms in the basement, there's also a temporary morgue, which is located opposite of the elevator entrance. This morgue was probably used at some point in time, but as long as I've been working there, it was never even unlocked. Nobody used that room for anything. Today, I was working as normal, going about my day, not feeling creeped out at all since it was in the middle of the day. And I've been to this basement too many times already and never had a reason to be scared of it. I went down to the basement, emptied the dirty laundry in the laundry room, and called the elevator down again since somebody had used it. I pressed the button, but the elevator wasn't coming down. Above me, through the closed elevator doors, I could hear two of my coworkers speaking and holding the elevator from closing. The space in the elevator is very acoustic, and you can easily hear people on it from the basement all the way up to the 3rd floor. At this point, I was getting angry because it was a particularly busy day, and I didn't have any time to spare. So I started knocking on the elevator doors to let them know I was waiting for it. After a few knocks, it seemed to me they didn't register it as someone knocking for them to get off the elevator. So I decided to knock in a little melody, rhythm, to get their attention. Now this is where something very weird happened. Maybe 5 seconds after that knock, I started hearing knocking back. It didn't have any particular pattern, and it sounded like literal knocking on a door. At first, I thought it's coming from my coworkers above, but quickly realized that it was coming from behind me. I turned around to find the basement completely empty, and I couldn't quite figure out where it was coming from at first, until I came a few feet closer to the sound. It was coming from the morgue. I froze. Thousands of thoughts came rushing through my mind as I tried to somehow rationalize what I was hearing. I wanted to leave the cart behind and just sprint up the stairs to get the heck out of there when I heard the elevator finally coming down. It was the longest wait ever, but I finally got on and pressed the button to the 3rd floor, I think 20 times before the doors closed and got me out of there. Maybe all of this can be easily explained away with it being an older building, sounds from the pipes or animals, etc., or being a pure coincidence with my knocking. But I never heard a building ever make a knocking sound on the door like that. Needless to say, it creeped me out. Anyway, this was my first paranormal experience ever. And I'm interested if anybody else has a similar experience or an explanation for whatever the heck it was. I don't know about you. That story gives me the creeps. I can't even imagine working in a building that actually has a morgue in it. My thought is, I think she probably was experiencing a paranormal encounter, and it was probably attracted to the rhythm she was beating out. I think that sometimes musical beats or rhythms can definitely attract that kind of a spirit. So that's just my opinion. Some of the other opinions, though, on the post are pretty interesting. Somebody said that it could be because the morgue was cooler and a slight temperature change could have made the knocking sound. And somebody else said maybe just a member of the staff was in there. I don't know. What do you think? We'd love to know below. And thank you so much for listening. I'm Tiffany Jean, and you're listening to Paranormal Encounters.